Afternoon here in the Netherlands, morning in the US, and also quite a few people. I cannot see how many. Two. So good to see you. If I do this, then I cannot see me anymore. So that's it. I'm talking to a computer, which is totally strange. Never done this before. I don't know how I come across. We'll see. Let me know afterwards. Yeah, so why do we call it? Why is this fitness? Does this have to do? Good to be here the first time of my ever with a very large audience. So good to see about fitness, business fitness for coaches. I'm an first time I've ever done so, but I think especially these days I've decided to do so because I think I can teach honestly there for others to help others. Everyone, but certainly also for coaches. So we're going to shape up. We're going to shape up to this whole Corona thing, and we do everything we can to get better. And the promise is we even grow in the coming years. We will grow in the coming years. Yeah, that's the thing. Are we live, guys? All right. All righty. So my assistant can call me if technically it doesn't work. But let's see. All the boats coming through the living room. The Wi-Fi signal seems strong enough. Guys, good day, everyone. Good to see you, everyone. Yeah. So that's it. And so I'm going to Hi, guys. We're live. We're live. No, really, are we live? Whoa. Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Is it all cool? Can you hear me? Can you hear me all well? Yeah. 1 minute to go. Hey, Roland. I don't know. Apparently there are 3 people. If this is, I will do it in English. Just in case. I don't know. Oh, may niet. Are we in? Hi guys. Am I in? I think we're live. Oh, wow. Great. Let's check everything and then we'll start in a minute. I think everything is fine. I don't know how many people there are. It's the very first time. Am I in? Oh, wow. It's going to be live. Wow. Great. Let's check everything and then. Hey guys, there we start. I don't know how many people there are. Hopefully a lot. There's subscribed quite a few people, but it's 3 o'clock. And we're about to start the session, the webinar, the first webinar out of the 3 in total we have. We do it in English because there are a few coaches who signed up from the United States, from Switzerland, Spain I saw, Denmark I saw. So I don't showed up. But for now, just assume that there are also not Dutch native speakers. So we'll do it in English. And before that, maybe you are interested to link with me, connect with me on LinkedIn. I would love to be connected. One of the slogans of our coaching business bootcamp: stay connected. And if you want, you can download my ebook, which is part of the story that I'm going to tell the coming days. So if you reread the information that I give you for the coming 3 days, then you can read this in this ebook. You can find it at trackingcoach.nl. So NL there you can connect and you can there download this ebook. Okay, let's go. I don't know how it's going to be. If you have questions, write that down in the box below. I cannot promise that I will react right away, but I will come back to it later then. We're going to talk about what we call the Leadership Fitness Bootcamp. And why this fitness? We're going to do this. I've never done this before. I've never done something for coaches, so it's all a big challenge. But I thought, well, just do it. I think I have something to tell. You will find out for yourself. I really think I can help. So we are going to tell out of the past 15 years what I believe that works for coaching and for coaches, and all the things also that didn't work so well. So that's what we're going to do, and we're going to talk about fitness. And what has fitness to do with coaching? Well, fitness actually is a word that has a significance that has to do something with physical things like muscles and perseverance and marathons and athletics and all these things, but actually fitness has a totally other root. Fitness adaptable. To fit means to be suitable or to be that's totally something else as just the physical part. And the thing where we are going to work on is to get more flexible, to get more adaptable, to be more suitable. And especially now in these times, it is so to do so. I mean, it's so relevant now that you can adapt to the context, the new context that there is, this whole Corona thing. You have to be extreme now in order to survive. And there comes the word, the survival of the fittest. Only the fittest coaches will survive. And fitness is not something you get from the you have to doing that. You do that step by step. And I hope to help you a little bit on this stair upwards, because it's always upwards, to get fitter and to survive at the end, or even grow as the objective is. I really, as a coach, if you do a few things differently, because the whole coaching market, I believe, have not innovated that much in the past 10, 15 years. Yeah. Fitness, that means that the organisms that best adjust to the new situation, they will be successful. They will survive. And I believe that coaches can, but you really have to do things differently. You really have to adapt. And we're going to talk about that for the coming 3 days, how you can do so, or I believe, and test it also, how you can do so. So step by step fitness. Not a golden nugget, not the secret formula, not the big bright enlightenment where you get breakthrough. It's a step-by-step gradual process, and I believe that the coming days will give you a lot of extra steps. For the rest, you of course can do it for yourself, but I hope I can inspire you to get up this staircase. The promise for the coming days is, and there's really have a challenging promise here, is I believe you can grow in this crisis. And you even can grow without having to be a salesman. I don't like too much to sell, and it's also always, and I will tell you a little bit more about that, it's always difficult in a personal coaching relationship to talk about money and to talk about selling. And I don't believe that's not needed. You can do so in an alternative way. I'll tell you more about that. So grow in the crisis in the coming 3 days without having. The first day is really about creating belief, creating vision on how you can adapt, how you can get more fitter in this market. It's especially the why where we're going to talk about today. The why and a little bit the direction, but certainly to establish the belief. If you don't have the belief, it's hard to change. It's hard to do things differently. So that's for today. Tomorrow we have more the how, and then how we measure, because measuring is one of the key levers of. We measure the effect of coaching in various ways, and we're going to talk about that. And then the last day is the most practical day. We really talk about the actions and the things you can do, and we talk about the what. So what can you do to get fitter and to get better in your business as a coach? And I hear you think, why can't we do day 3 in day 1? Because it won't work. You know, I'm in executive coaching for 15 years. Very interesting training system with a lot of tools and techniques. And people ask me all the time, give me the techniques, give me the tools. It doesn't work if you don't have the vision, how to use them and why you need to use them. So these are the coming 3 days. For today, a little intro like I just did, and a little bit of fitness. Then I talk about the big insight I had that really broke me through in this business, or really step changed the business. For me in 2015, one big insight that I believe you can have as well, but more the short route. to change your business. And so that's the first thing, the number one insight, and then three strategies you can use to get better and to change in your business. And that's more practical, but not yet at a practical level, as we will do on Friday. Okay, learning points for today and for the 3 days actually is how to make your client and the ones who pay your bill, these are often two different people, to make them both happy. Yeah, that's one of the learning points. The other one is how to make a consistent income without having to work massive hours or increase your rate. Yeah, that's one of the learning points as well. And the third one is how can you help your clients achieve their goals? And we've developed a system for that. We'll share exactly the details. You can use anything you want. You can copy paste, you can use my ideas. You can, of course, not copy my material, but you can use all the ideas. I have not these ideas by myself. I've learned them from others too, and I'm really happy to share them with you. So don't feel resisted there. All right, let's go. So growing in the coming 3 years, because there will be a little bit different years in the coming 3 years, and I believe you can grow. Yeah, the coaching market is growing at 7% per year. Yeah, that's a massive. It's 7% per year for years already. It's about 16 billion, the total personal development market. It's there, it will remain there, it will not stop growing. Yeah, maybe it will grow a little less as before, but then it's still large enough to pick your grain there. And a lot of coaches will have to leave the market because they won't change. So then you have less coaches, the same market. You can really be successful in the coming 3 years. So that's what we're going to do. And a little bit, so what does your life look like if you can grow the coming 3 years? What practical difference will that make? You know, is there a practical outcome if you can grow, if you can have a consistent income? What kind of, you know, it's always interesting a little bit what's the outcome is. It makes you more motivated, it makes you more eager to learn. So it's also good to think, okay, what if I really can do my work and not have to sell? What really does change if I not only make my client happy, but also his or her boss? What really changes if I can make a steady income without worrying about it, and I really can focus on the client and the connection with the client? Just imagine for a while. Make the step towards the story. In the first place, who am I? A few people of you might know me, a few people don't. My name is Anne-Johan Willemsen. I am an executive coach since 2006. Before that, I was working in a corporate job within years. And then I started as a meditation teacher. So the strange step at that time. So especially then it was hard to meditation job. I started as an executive coach. I gradually grew into this job as an executive coach. I'm the founder of TopMind. You can see www.topmind.com. That's my website. It's executive coaching. And I'm a father of 3 boys and happily married with Lisa and live in Haarlem, the Netherlands. Very good. So that was my introduction. The rest I won't tell you too much about myself. This is our office. I have a team of about 10 people, but no staff. So, and that's something I'll tell you on Friday why that is, how you can organize that to have people in your team, but not having staff. We do leadership coaching, and well, that's the little introduction about myself. We work for clients, entrepreneurs in Holland, mainly with golf players. We work with football players. We work with politicians. I had the privilege to work with a leading politician in the Netherlands for about 2 years, and I work with the board members of in the Netherlands, and do that already for, what is it now, 12 years also. So very good. looks good, but actually wasn't really good. It's 10 years, and I found out a lot of things. A scientific journal system, which was really cool, of course, but even proof of science didn't really make my business flourish. It was hard. Even all the effects of this study was really good. It didn't do a lot for my business, and I will tell you why in a little bit. So what is the big thing or the big insight I had in 2015 when things really changed? What is the secret I would like to share? Changed everything and made the needle move in my business. I'm going to share that with you. But first, a little bit of a background where I came from. My income, you see, I don't hide any secret here. Share you my full income. It started in was about 235,000 a year, a little more, a little less, little same. And then in 2015, I had an income of about 10,000 euros gross per year. So things were not really doing well. This was almost 10 years in the business. Starting till 2015, I made an income of 10,000 euros gross a year. So not a really good story. And I was already focusing on how can I increase that income and how can I do better. And I clue. And I was walking with my middle son. I was walking with my in Zandvoort, and she supported me immensely as of the beginning. When I stepped out of my corporate job and I said I'm going to be a meditation teacher, she said, "Oh, I'll do that. I'm fine. I'm supporting you." And when I said I want to go to Japan to do meditation between the monks in the monastery, she said, "Oh, you can do so, and I'll be here." She was pregnant at that time, so she supported me in everything, still does, and I'm really grateful. And she's the reason why I didn't quit, because it was hard. And then at a certain time in 2014 or beginning 2015, we're walking on the beach in Zandvoort, and she said me, and she had never done that before. She said, "I really would appreciate it if you can make a little bit more money than you do now." And that was a message that really hurt, that really came inside me. It was hard to hear. You tolerate a lot from yourself, but if your loved ones really, if you really realize that your people around you suffer from your deeds, your things you do, I mean, that's hard. And I promised her at the beach there, I said, I really will make a better income than I did so far. I will do everything I can to get better. And again, she supported me on that way, but I didn't have a clue how to do it. I didn't have a clue. And I thought, well, I'm a good coach. People are satisfied, so things will come. But that already I tested for 10 years. So I struggled with that question. How can I make a little bit more, or at least a more consistent income, a more certain income? And I walked around with that question, and I did a couple of things. And one of the things I did, I went to a friend of mine, and I think he might be I'm not sure. His name is Arnold Timmerman. He has a company called Dogma Detox, and I went to him, and I said to Arnold, I have this dogma, this limiting belief in myself that making money and helping people doesn't really match. It's something that every time when I have a personal relation with someone, I have to talk about the fees and the terms and the prices. It is hard for me, and I cannot deal with that. Money and helping people is something that doesn't match. And we did a little exercise with what we call the and we kind of reset this limiting belief. And I don't know exactly on a spiritual level what happened, but mentally I had a different view on it suddenly. I said, okay, if I can make money, I can become a better coach. If I make money, I can have more clients. I can invest in myself. I can reach more people. I have no worries, so I can have a better connection with people. So a lot of making money actually is a precondition coach. And that kind of changed my whole thing. And the big insight and the big switch I made actually after that came best by saying I changed my view or my focus from money to value. So I changed, and that was the insight. My focus on making money to generating or giving away value. That's the shift. I thought quarter that fell is if I give a lot of value to people, I don't have to ask for the deal. I don't have to ask for prices. It will be a more natural flow. So focus on value instead of focus on making money. Making money is more about me. I make money. Giving value is more about the other, which is much better match with a coach, at least with me as a coach, than others. So maximally add value to the other person. That's something that totally the needle moved and moved everything afterwards. Focus on value, not on making money. This is the result. So I changed my legal entity, so that's better to see it here. But this is what the result was. I did to 2015. That was the lowest point at the time, and then I switched and I my revenues in 2 to 3 years. Not just by that insight, also the things that I did with it later, and I will explain you now what these were. But the insight of really how can I add that I have instead of how can I make money with them or from them. So what I want to do with you is I want to share this way that I found out over years, 10 years and more. This a little bit more the shortcut. That idea, just generate value and the money will flow right away through you naturally. That's the switch from money to value. So when we have this promise, if we want to grow in the crisis, then this insight really helps. If you really think about what is the value I can give to a client instead of how much money can I make. And then there are three things. There are three strategies that will help you kind of implement that idea of value generation. These things are in the first place, and I'll explain you later in detail. But the first one is follow up. If you want to add value to follow up, and how and what I will explain later. Secondly, the way you price. Most coaches, colleagues of mine, and I did that till a couple of years ago as well, I valued my time. So I said, this is the price per time or per hour that I spend with you. That, and I will give you a few alternatives on Friday, what you can do else, but stop valuing your time. It's totally irrelevant. And thirdly, measure progress. A lot of things can be measured. Coaching so far have not been worked out to measure. And I have 3 ways to do so, and I will explain tomorrow which of the 3 things there are, and they are very easy to implement, and I recommend you to do so the same. Value, follow up, stop valuing your time, and measure. The first thing, follow up. What do I mean with that? If you switch your focus from making money into giving value, then you have to think about what really does this client value. And I was working with a football player, and his name was Bart Vriends. He plays for professional football soccer club in the Netherlands, in Sparta. And he was about in 2014. And he came to me, and he was at that time living in Deventer in the eastern part of the Netherlands. And he was, after his training, he came to me every week, and he spent with me and did the exercises and the training and the tools and the videos and everything we have. And he was really inspired. He was the only player in the whole team that decided to work with me. He said, I want to do this. And he came to me, and we worked for months. I mean, I think almost a year. So we worked together, and for more than half a year, he came every week. He came to me, he paid for it himself. He didn't ask for it to the club. He paid it for himself. And he said, well, because I want to invest in growing. So he came to me, and we had a very good relation, and he was very inspired, and training really, I feel that it does something with me. I think about it, I explain others, I really feel already the benefits, but he says, I have so much difficulty to really implement the thinking into my behavior. I really have difficulties to keep up the habits that I learned in this training in order to ingrain it and to automate it in order to be more effective. And then if he, who else can? I mean, he was so disciplined. He was so prepared. He was so committed. If he can't develop a habit, a new effective habit, who else can? And I thought, wow, I'm not that of a good coach. As he said to me, you know, I can help him and inspire him, and I give him insights and self-knowledge and all these things, but apparently that's not enough. And that's what I see with other coaches, a lot of other coaches as well. People, they can have insights, can have breakthroughs, they can have spiritual experiences. It doesn't translate into day-to-day behavior. What is then really for him? And there wasn't. And to be honest, for myself, I realized hard as well. I realized to really keep up with the habit. With the question, what can I offer clients to really help them develop into behavioral change? And then I came to a man, and the man is called Marshall Goldsmith, a coach called the #1 executive coach in the world, and he had a TEDx movie on the internet, and he said, calling me every single day. He wrote a book about it called Triggers, and he explains in this book again, I have someone calling me at 10 o'clock at night, wherever I am in the world, every single day, and the lady asks me the same questions over and over every day. And he's 70 years old. He's pretty disciplined. He's very successful, but even he apparently not strong enough, not disciplined enough to do that. So as of that day, we're going to do the same. We call our clients every single day. We now also have an app where we contact the clients and do these things, answering the same questions which they have made for themselves every day. We send them a progress card at the end of the week, but we do it every day. And the whole shift came into my revenues, into the number of clients, into the energy of clients, and massively changed my whole business. And we'll tell you more about it, how that works. But that's one of the biggest breakthroughs. So follow up, because coaching is a contact sport. You improve your income and you improve your coaching if you have contacts and if you have better contacts. Simple. That doesn't have to do anything with the quality for you as a coach. If you have more contacts and if the contacts are of a quality, your business will grow and the coaching and the effects will grow. Watch my words. Watch if you start doing that. And this man, Marshall Goldsmith, I got befriended with him after that time because I was so incredibly grateful for this insight. So I invited me in the United States to have a training with him, and he came to the Netherlands actually 2018, end of 2018, and we were privileged to give a workshop with him for our clients at ABN AMRO, one of my clients, and we had an audience of about 30 people. It's about this whole routine. In the United States, I had training with him, and he came to the Netherlands. every day. Why do you have a morning call? Don't you know their theory about how to change behavior? And I'm not fully sure if you get this movie. Never tried it before, but this was Marshall Goldsmith, and that was at the office of ABN AMRO, and we gave to about 30 of our clients, and he explained every day, and he had explained that he is too cowardly, disciplined to do it by myself. So that's why he does it. So we are doing that as of 2014 shift, and I really highly recommend you to do the same, because that will end into growth for your clients, yourself. You know so much more from your clients than you can follow them day by day, and it's immensely powerful. And I would highly recommend you to start doing that. How you can do so, I'll tell you in day 3 practically. So far, the follow-up and number one key, the number one strategy, please follow up. Coaching is a contact sport. The more better the context, the more growth you will have with your clients and with your business. Simple as that. Follow up. Second one is valuing your time. I think the majority of the coaches work with an hour or a fee per hour. Different variants. You can get 10 coaching sessions for the price of X, or you can have sessions for the price of Y, whatever. It's all a variant of the same, is that you value your time. Stop doing that. Stop doing that right away. I will tell you a few alternatives on Friday, because that is very ineffective. That will never make you to an income that is at the level that you want it to. But at the same time, it is totally irrelevant how much time you spend on a client. And most time you spend on the client doesn't even see. You do at the back of the reporting and in the administration and in the learning. So valuing your time, calculating very important. It's not where the client is interested in. It's not where you what is relevant, and I will tell you a little bit more about that. Because if you really think in terms of value instead of money, then you have to think about yourself, what really is of value? What is really value? Clients work, and they have a quantity of clients, and that's the total revenues. Now, if you have, let's say, a rate of 150 euros an hour, and then you have to do 4 per day for the whole year, 5 days a week, to get to a little bit decent income, let's say 60, 70K per year. It's really hard to do that if you make a calculation. The client is not interested in how much hour you spend. And I will say a little bit pricing yourself in terms of time. Because what is value? What is value for a client? For the value that you do your best? Is the value that you have nice stories and theories and concepts and all kind of techniques? Is it of value if you have good credentials and titles? Is it of value how much time you spend with the client? Or is it of value if you solve their problem? If you help them solve their problem or fulfill their need? What's the value? You can do that in 1 minute. That's great. That's even more better than if you spend there 5 hours on it. Where is the gateway to a more successful coaching business as a coach, but also for your income? Solve really the problem, and that's where the value is. Not how much time you spend, not how much you do your best, or how many education you had as a coach. It's really about solving the problem. E times Q, it doesn't work. And I have another few alternatives which you can take and play. What else should you do then? If you hourly tariff, what is the problem here, of course, is if you do exactly the same as the other, 50,000 other coaches in the world, and then it's hard to do a different pricing model. So you have to do it differently. I already said in point 1, follow up. If you add the follow up, then you do something differently. Clients cannot compare you anymore because you have another offer. You have a different offer. Make sure you cannot be compared, and where the offer is better than the others. So make your offer better and make your offer different. Then you can price differently. As I did for TopMind, for example, I said, I'm not a coach, I'm a fitness trainer. So what's that, fitness trainer? That's strange. No, it's strange. It's different. In essence, I'm not that much different. Positioning towards the clients I want to serve. So I'm not a coach. I'm not just a regular coach. I'm a fitness trainer. I help people get mentally fitter. Secondly, I follow up with them in order to help them develop the habits that they want. That's different. Nobody does that so far. And the third is I measure their effect. Nobody does that, or hardly anybody does that in coaching, the coaching world. So that makes my offer. That makes the opportunity to price differently as well there. So that's it. So I train, I track, and I trade, as I say, and that's a totally different offer, a different proposition as other coaches, and make the proposition different and make it better. If you make it different and better, you can ask different ways of pricing and step away from this hourly rate, because it will only bring you down. And I have no worry to be different. It's fine to be a black sheep. It's good to be the first, because you will benefit from it first as well. Thirdly, and the last insight, the last strategy is measure. If you switch from money to value, you have to find out and figure out who actually give this value. Is it just the client, the coaching client that I want to value and give the value? Or is there somebody else who gives the value? Who is paying the bill? Is that the client, or is it maybe someone else? In most cases, it's someone else. It's the organization or the company of a client, the boss of a client who pays the bill. So you don't have to give value to the client, you also have to give value to the business where the client is working for. And those have different rules. Businesses have different rules than individuals. You have to learn to play by the rules. Because the boss is the boss. He pays the bill and he wants to have what we call return on his investment. And we can say a lot of things where we spend money on in businesses, and then they can say something about the return, but coaching is still a little vague. It's still about, yeah, I like the coaching. Well, I think coaching works with him, but it's not really tacit. So we have to make that more tacit. And if you really want to give value to your client, you have to make sure that you have to give value to the one who pays the bill for your client as well. You have to investment. But there's not really a measuring unit of coaching. Not really a lot was there. What you can see, what's the effect of coaching? So what I developed, I developed 3 measure the effect of coaching. The first measurement is the measuring. I'll explain you later what I mean. The other element or dimension that I use for measuring the effect is the other dimension. What is people around the person? And the last one is outer. Something about the client if he has himself, and that's the daily follow-up. We have clients assess themselves every day, and at the end of the day or end of the week, we can say exactly to what extent he or she did what she did. That's an inner. And the second one is the other way of measurement. Every 3 months, about 20 people around the client in a very survey via an app or via SMS extend the survey for words. 2, 3. We ask 20 people around the client, you bet you get very honest feedback. And we don't ask only the quantitative feedback, qualitative feedback, to give examples, to have them give suggestions. It's anonymous, and we do that now for 4 or 5 years. We see that very clear, strong feedback where clients use for the rest of their journey with us. And this is called the stakeholder-centered coaching of Marshall Goldsmith. It's fully incorporated into. One is the physical test. We give clients a physical test. If you change, you'll see it in your body. You change, you get more energized, you get more clear. If you get happier in your job, you can see it in your body. We have a 2-hour test which we do with clients in the beginning of a program, and then after 6 months, every 6 months we do it again. And you get very strong objective indicators if something has changed. How does the client work their energy? How does the client recuperate? What is the HRV of a client when it's at rest? What's the HRV when it is in exercise? Blood pressure, recuperation, a lot of different things we can measure, and that does change if somebody really is committed to his or her development. So inner, other, and outer. These are the 3 things, 3 ways to measure. We'll tell a little bit more about it tomorrow, how that looked like. Okay? So that's important. You progress, you map the program, monitor the process for your client, because the client doesn't pay the bill, it's the business who pays the bill. And the reason why there are so many coaches have to step out of their job is because the businesses still don't know the clear and undoubted effect of coaching. They all say it's very important, but in the end, when the push comes to shove, when the shit hits the fan like it does now, then the first thing that get be rid of then the coaching programs. And that's such a shame, but especially now people need coaching. But if we cannot make clear what the effect is, then we are vulnerable, then we are fragile and not agile. This will make you more agile. Okay, these are the 3 things. One big insight: don't focus on money. Second is follow up. Make sure you follow up. Sport. The more contacts you have, the better your business, the better you as a coach. Secondly, stop with your hourly tariff or any variant on that. Ask a monthly fee, make package you on Friday, but don't do these silly things, calculating your hours where you're in front of the client. I mean, you get compared by accountants, which is totally not valid. And it has nothing to do the amount of time you spend on it. It's better to spend 1 minute on a client and then make him totally transform. Spend 10 hours and still have your time is irrelevant. And the third one is measure effect, because that's what the reason why we're coaches and why so many coaches have to leave their job in the coming 1 or 2 years or months even, because we cannot make transparent what the effect is of our job. was it for today. I really thank you for being here. I don't know if there are any questions. I want to see that. Let me see. So far, so good. I don't think so. Let me see. Hello, Roland. Yeah, people, very nice. If there are, let them know here in the box, or send it to me personally to my email, annejohan.com, Anne-Johan@topmind.com, with the questions. And it was really exciting to do this for the first time. I don't know. I don't know how the techniques went. I don't know if you really heard me well. But we'll get the feedback from you, and let me please know how you think of it. Tomorrow we will do a session about measurement, so how you can measure the 3 ways I just described. And then on Friday we do practical piece, the 7 practical things to improve your business. So that goes from marketing to how you set up a relation, to how to measure, how to follow up, and the pricing. Everything will be there on Friday. The practical part, about the why, so how I came to these insights and the strategies, and the Friday will be the practical day. I hope it was really interesting. Thank you, Karin. I saw your. If you have questions, let me know via email. Excited to answer them. Thanks very much. Hope to see you tomorrow. If I see you tomorrow, share it with others as well, with other colleagues. I think we need each other. We can make a strong bond in the coming months and years, and we will need each other in a very difficult time that will come, certainly. Much. Hope to see you soon. I hope it was of value. Stay connected. See you tomorrow. Thank you. Bye.